Okay, so let's take a look at Bugonia. Right, this is the brand new film from Yorgos Lanthimos, right, who directs and Will Tracy writes. Okay, the film is produced by Ari Aster, Ed Guiney, Lars Kundson, Jerry Koigobumku, Yorgos Lanthimos, Mickey Lee, Andrew Lowe, Emma Stone. All right, it is co-produced by Cassia Malipan, Will Grenfield. It is executive produced by Mark Bryan, Jang Joon-hwan, Khan Kwan, Handae Ray, Yoon Sang-hwan, Seb Shaw, and Christian Vespa. My bad, Christian. It is co-executive produced by Ellie Nayeon Park, Sean Goyle, and that is that. Okay, so the score was handled by Jerskin Fendrix. Robbie Ryan handled the cinematography. Yorgos Mavros Pasadinritz edits the piece. Right, Jennifer Venditti was behind all the casting. Production design is James Price. Art direction, we have Lily Lee Abraham, Callie Andridius, Paula Jimenez, Paul D. Kelly, Justin Nathaniel Kistler, Adam A. Makin, Mers Topham, Darren Tubby, and Chris Wyatt. On set decoration, we have Hussein Agami, Prue Howard, Francesca Muri, Eleanor Riccabona. Costume design was handled by Jennifer Johnson. On hair and makeup, we have Nicola Androlioa, Lisa Caracido Barbette, Jocelyn Bennett Snewin, Charlie Blute, Dave Bonniwell, Rebecca Butterworth, Susanna Cassels, Katie Cherry, Lauren Clark, Lisa Coles, Gail Cooper, Bethan Crawley, Samantha D. Gusby, Albert Elizondo, Rachel Gatt, Thomas Gibbs, Christopher Goodman, Lizzie Grant, Morgan Kimber, Adrufa Lee, Mai Long, Jimmy Mann, Rob Mayer, Diamond McCall, Ashton McCarthy Gould, Emily McGorry, Tamara Mead, John Moore, Ben Morecambe, Elaine Morris, Ty Malavi, Richard Oliver, Max Payne, Liz Phillips, Millie Pigeon, Carly Robertson, Darren Robinson, Michael Rosati, Shana Rothwell, Martina Shakova, Lottie Blue Smith, Matthew Smith, Kate Walshy, Erin Wheatland, Torsten Witt, and Stephanie Wong. Okay, on stunts, we have got Alex Antasopoulos, Abdul Basif, Janelle Beedry, Nick Bensman, Nikki Berwick, Alexander Brack, Joance Candice, Derek Carver, Lawrence Chavez, Rob Cooper, AJ Frey, Lex D. Geddings, Hannah Grant, Emma Holt, right, Daniel James King, Sam Lynn Biam, Nikita Mitchell, Triamphalos Omarids, Lesser Pat, Ian Peed, Sam Tidwell, Douglas Wells, from Corey Williams, Adam Woodford. So, our cast, who was in the film, right? We have got Jesse Plemons as Teddy. Aidan Delbis is Don, Teddy's cousin. We have Alicia Silverstone as Sandy, Teddy's mum. Right, then we got Michelle, played by Emma Stone. Her assistant, Corey, is played by Vanessa Eng. There is Ricky, the security guard, played by J. Cameron Gadalez Barrera. Tony, played by Mark T. Lewis. Chris, played by Cedric Dominery. There's Casey, right, the policeman who knows Teddy, played by Stavros Halkalis. Tina, played by Mama Cherry. Frederica Whitford plays herself. Carlos, played by Rafael Lopez Bravo. The EMT is played by Yasa. One of the detectives played by Tanisha Ellis. Another one is played by Roger Carvalho. We have then got Atushi Nishijama, Janlyn Bales, Andy Blackburn, Stella Bizrisky, Diana Du, Adam Esfali, Jerskin Fendricks, Asia Harper, Sally Kennington, Paul Mansell, Harif Mohammed, Sawadi Philamore, all in kind of supporting roles, and the Doctor is played by Parvinder Shergill. Alright, so that's that. The film is this. Two conspiracy-obsessed young men kidnap the high-powered CEO of a major company, convinced that she is an alien intent on destroying planet Earth. Whoa. Okay, so that's the film. Now, this is actually an English language remake. Yeah, I didn't even know this shit, right? So it's a remake of a 2003 South Korean film called Save the Green Planet from Jang Joon-hwan. All right, so yeah, And, I think originally it was going to be called Save the Green Planet, but then they decided to call it Bugonia, right? Which actually, I looked this up, right? It's a Greek word, and it's, oh gosh, it kind of means like the birth of bees, because there was some belief that bees were born from dead animals, right? Which is kind of bonkers. You know what I mean? But yeah, they called it Bugonia, right? And there's some kind of thing to that in the film, right? Um, like I really enjoyed The Favourite. Really enjoyed The Favourite. I thought that was great. And Emma Stone was fantastic in it. You know what I mean? Poor Things was very interesting. There was a lot to like about it. It was definitely odd, but right? It was well put together and all of that jazz. I haven't got round to watching Kinds of Kindness, but you know what I mean? Emma Stone is such a great actress. And Jesse Plemons is really good. So I was like, yo, I'm intrigued, right? I'm intrigued, but I had no clue, anything about this film. And I don't know if that's because people are being good about it, right? Not, because sometimes there's just all manner of, and people basically give away all the film online, right? So I don't know if it's that or it's just the fact that I don't, you know what I mean? I'm not looking to see what films are, essentially, right? But yeah, I went in not really having any clue what this was. I just caught bits of trailer and you see Emma Stone, you know what I mean? High powered businesswoman. And then you see Jesse and his cousin, you know what I mean? Kind of rednecky, right? That's all I ascertained about this. So coming in, right, we kind of get at the beginning, narrated by Teddy, right? And then it's kind of, you see him talking to Don, and they're going through, they've woken up, they're going through this whole, their morning ritual, right? Like taking care of the bees. And Teddy's telling Don about bees and what's going on with the bees, right? And how, it's to blame, right? Who's to blame for it? And then we see them exercising and, doing stuff. And on the flip, we see, right, Michelle waking up and then going through her routine, right? And it's kind of funny. You know what? It kind of reminded me of I never remember what. I think it's Rocky 4, right? The Dolph Lundgren one. Because that was the first Rocky I even saw, you know? But in that, right, because you had Dolph Lundgren, Ivan Drago, and he's training and he's got all the high tech, and then Rocky is in the meat factory running up steps and all of that thing, right? And in this, Emma Stone, right, Michelle, she's doing Krav Maga, probably. She's on the running machine with the oxygen mask and just all this high tech shit. And then you've got Teddy and Don, you're just in the living room doing like yoga Pilates and whatnot, right? A more rustic approach. So we have that. And Teddy is convinced that these aliens have come down. And he's talking about all of this stuff, right? And, with Don, they're going over what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, right? Don is neurodivergent. That's what they're saying online, right? He's disabled. He's got a mental, disability. which is kind of, we'll get to that. But so they're planning this whole thing, and I was assuming maybe the kidnapping comes later, but it comes mad early in the film, right? And we see all of this. Now, the film is, like, it's put out there as a dark comedy. I did not laugh once. I didn't laugh once, right? I laughed during The Favourite. I laughed at times in Poor Things. I did not laugh in this. Now, there were some other people in the cinema, and you know what I mean? There were some snickers. There was no big belly laughs or anything like that. And it's interesting because, Will Tracy wrote the film. Now, Will, he wrote, what was the damn thing Will wrote that I really enjoyed? He wrote The Menu. And The Menu's fucking great, right? The Menu's really good. And he also wrote, he was a writer on Succession. I haven't got around to watching Succession, people, but I hear from everyone it's very good. I know I'm late, but come on, man. I've got so much. I'm trying to do so much, people. Give me a break, you feel me? But the writer is good, right? The director is good. The cast is good. But this film, right? So it didn't work on a comedic level. And, right, I feel there's themes in here, right? We're like talking about the planet, the bees, what humankind is doing, right? These big organizations and the way that they're, you know what I mean? Guys, like fucking people up. Right, and then kind of covering it up and all of that stuff, right? There's these kind of points that seem to be getting made. And it just felt flat, right? It felt clunky, which is kind of odd because The Menu, I thought, was sublimely done. I thought that was really well handled, and the themes, you know what I mean, like they weren't just bang 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 in your face, right? I thought they were weaved into the film and you got it, and it was just boom, mwah, you know what I mean? It's far, it's a 180 to what this was, and that is, I'm very curious. I don't know what happened here. Now, it seems a load of people do love the film, which is fair, right? We don't all have to like the same things. But yeah, unfortunately, this didn't work for me. Right now, I can look at the performances and say the performances were decent. I thought Emma Stone was great. I thought Jemmy Plemons was great. Right, the Don character is very odd, right? Don character is very odd. And Aidan Delbis, I don't know. I don't think the Don character is a high point of the film, right? Right, having the kind of, cousin with a disability and all of that kind of thing, it just, there's these things in the film that just feel, I don't know, like, why? And you know what? It's not saying you can't have a disabled person in the film, right? But they're in the film and it's kind of like they're the dummy, right? And it's just like, like you can have a guy that's not overly, not everyone's super bright or but like to then have them be the disabled one, it just feels kind of funky. You know what I mean? Feels kind of funky. And it's like there's a lot of violence. It's a lot of violence to women up in the film. And not, you know what I mean? It's a film. It's fiction. It's not like you're watching going, oh my God, what did they do? Right? But it's kind of a bit like, because it comes out of left field, you know? And obviously, right, we are getting constantly alluded to Teddy's past and things that may have happened. Right? It doesn't come out and just say this happened or so, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, you know what I mean? We can have a character that has trauma, you know what I mean? Has baggage. And this baggage may lead them to do certain things. But none of that is really laid out, I thought. You know what I mean? So it's kind of violence for violence sake, right? That's how it comes across, and a bit out of left field, you know what I mean? Because it feels like there's other things that could be done in its place, right? And we go straight to that rather than maybe other things. And there is stuff that gets alluded to and highlighted later in the film, but still, right? And a big thing about the plot, right, about the kidnapping, it doesn't really work in the context of the film. And it doesn't really work for one big thing. New cars have GPS, right? You can track a new fucking car. And we didn't see anyone disable it, right? So technically, they could have found her straight away. They could have found her straight away, right? You just tracked the fucking car. You know what I mean? Like, don't tell me that they're not gonna do that for someone like Michelle. You know what I mean? Right? She's a high-powered CEO of this organization. So are you really trying to tell me that no one is going to do that to try and find Michelle fucking Fuller? Come on, people. Please. Please. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. There's these weird things going, and you're just like, yo, this don't make sense. You know what I mean? But anyway, right? Now we get this, there's a part in the film kind of in a different, they go to a different country for whatever reason, you know? And we have subtitles. And it's fucking frustrating because it's not advertised that the film has subtitles, right? So there's a part of the film that I have no clue what the fuck happened. Now, obviously, I took a look at Wikipedia and I was able to ascertain some stuff, but it's really, really frustrating, you know? And this kind of shit is happening a lot, right? Of throwing this stuff in a film and then you're just like, oh, what the fuck are we meant to do? You know? What the fuck are we meant to do? So yeah, the cinematography was fine for the most part, but there were times, right, where there's these shots at a distance and for no real reason, and there's things happening, right? You can hear voices and sound, but I have no clue where anyone is until you see maybe a little bit of movement and you're like, okay, I guess that person was there. You know what I mean? But there's no real reason to do the weird long distance shot, right? And I really didn't like the score, unfortunately. Like the score itself, like the music itself could be fine in a different context, but it really I don't know, it really felt foreign to the film. It felt at odds, right? It's kind of like putting oil in water. It does not mix. And I felt that with the score, right? But as I said, look, a whole heap of people love this film. So, you know what I mean? If you might want to go with their opinion, right? I guess it's what you think of Yorgos's films. Like, I remember watching The Lobster. I wasn't overly enamored by it, but I kind of think maybe if you love The Lobster, you might love Bugonia. You know what I mean? I think that's the closest kind of thing, because I know, again, a whole heap of people love The Lobster, right? So I think that's my comparison for you here, people. If you love that, then boom, go check Beyond Bugonia, right? But if you didn't like The Lobster, you might not like this, right? But I say check out someone else, right? See what someone else has to say that you trust. And you know what I mean? Look, they might hit some points that I haven't, and you might go, you know what? Boom, that sounds like my thing. But if you've agreed with me on a lot of other films, right? Then boom, this is my take, baby. This is my feelings, my views. You know, if you feel differently, if you think I've missed something, right? You know what I mean, wasn't getting, you know, what they were trying to say on a certain thing, then, yo, hit me. Let me know. You feel me? Let me know. We'll have a dialogue online. You feel me? But, yeah, I don't know, right? But, people, this is my take on Bugonia, right? Oh, I will say, now, there is a thing that happens later in the film. And, you know, it's okay. But I think by the time it happens, you're thinking it possibly could go there. And you're at a point kind of where you don't really care. You know? But yeah, that's my take on Bugonia, people. You can like it, you can hate it, but that's what it is. All right. Thanks for checking it out. Peace.